What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Disc Golf Farming channel. We are covering the back nine of Psalms, not the Bible verse. My name is Thomas.
Joseph.
And as you should know from the previous video, we're all actually doing really well here. Jordan, Derek, myself, and Joseph have all done a lot better than I think we normally do. At least Derek and myself definitely were surprised with our results.
Yeah, it was a really, really good front nine. So
Everything with it being wooded, as many trees as we hit, we still ended up, I know I was at 0 and Derek was at 1 over, and you guys were both negative a couple, and we were feeling really good going into the back nine. But the back nine is a little bit more open, still some wooded areas, but you got some distance on some of these. And we'll find out how that goes as we get on into the coverage here. So
yeah, let's do it.
here we go.
You're only
All right, so
no pressure.
hole 10 here, as Joseph's clearly reminding me that there's pressure since I'm only even.
This was right after everybody figured out what the scores were. So
Right, so now I'm feeling good about myself. And I'm thinking, ooh, I could pull something cool off here. And then way off into the trees after hitting that branch.
and I think this is the longest hole we've come up to so far.
There you go.
And that was a beautiful flex shot.
Oh yeah.
He's got to kind of get around the tree there for the putt, but he's set up nicely. Oh, quack. Oh, those freaking ducks. But that was actually really good. I don't know if that's the line you were going for, but...
No, I was definitely aiming more right, but it's definitely snuck through.
Yep, and that was actually landed really close to where the...
Come back. Yep.
Yep. Flex back. He's parked.
And yeah, I played this hole a few times with Jordan, and that was definitely the best drive he's had on this hole.
All right.
That was really good.
You can kind of see the green band there around there, and I'm trying to just flex it real hard and let it just spike hyzer back in. And when I hit that tree, I was so sad because I'm far enough away that I am really nervous about that putt. And I really want a par, but I just didn't feel like it was going to happen being that far away with a few trees there as Derek's going to try to dance through them. But I think he made it to the other side.
Yeah. And I dare you to find somebody else who pulls that shot off the underhand right there.
That was real close.
That is Derek's signature right there.
Right. He does it well. And I made that par in 2D, but not 3D, unfortunately. Joseph set up for a good par. You got another par set up there by Jordan.
Yeah, he
And
left it a little short.
unfortunately, Derek didn't quite catch his par there. Alright, so got the par, the bogey. I'm looking at a bogey here. And I'm just far enough away that I'm like, don't screw this up. Pulled off the bogey. And then we've got Jordan setting up his par. Unless he slips and falls. He had it. So hole 11 is our first really open course, aside from hole 1. And it's actually got some distance to it.
Yeah, I think this one's right around 300.
Yeah, but Joseph shot it really far right. But probably within 100 feet.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that one, I think, followed you. But, it went way out.
He kind of smashed that one. It turned over on him.
And we've got some left to right wind here. It's not heavy wind, but it's enough to affect the disc if you turn it over too much. Kind of like that. I think he fell a little bit, slipped, but it rolled up a little bit.
Yeah, I think on that one, he just tried to power it too much. It's the first open shot and just kind of was trying to crank it out there maybe a little too hard and just messed up his form a little bit.
Yep. Now, I thought that was further than it was. Unfortunately, it's like maybe 2/3 of the way there. And it splashed right into some water. It had been raining earlier on the week, and Derek's over there trying to get close to me, it looks like. Get another setup. Kind of just doing a crisscross there. Joseph with a soft birdie attempt, but with that wind, I think it just sailed too much.
Jordan laying up there.
And I think this is really the first hole that Derek was really struggling to pull something off on. And that splash, like I said, it was right in the water. And I'm just wondering, can I pull off birdie here? And that was close.
Yeah, it was a good run.
That was close. And that was a lucky par.
Just sneaking it over the band. Or basket, rather.
And Derek cleaning up to finish out. That was a pretty decent distance, but for you guys with all your practice.
Yeah, we've gotten pretty comfortable from that range,
Yeah.
I think. The two of us have.
Another straightforward one. Probably about just as far. Throwing back towards the woods.
Yeah.
And this time the wind is right to left. And Joseph throwing it real hard right.
Yeah, that's a little short. I didn't follow through all the way. Kind of stopped myself on that back foot. So didn't really give it a chance to get all the way up there, but I got about a 30-footer.
Yep.
And that one was good. I think he just is a little lower than he wanted.
Yep. But honestly, with that wind, if it had gotten much higher, it might have flexed too much. And I'm trying to follow Joseph's line, but gave it a little too much angle, and I'm out a lot further left and not nearly as far as I would want. And Derek with that anhyzer. Flexed back in a little bit, but he's still got a pretty decent distance, especially since it went over as right as it did. But
Yeah, that one was looking really good. I remember talking to him about that one afterwards. Like, that kind of, I think that was the one that bummed him out the most, because that was looking really good, like, on line with the basket. Just caught the last tree.
yep. Unfortunately. And a little,
Jordan giving it a little run there.
it was a little past, but not too bad.
And I was thinking I could make this. I'd made some bigger putts in this round earlier, and I just kind of weak-armed it a little bit and didn't give it enough, give it a chance.
I think that right to left wind was probably playing with your head a little bit too, though. Because now that we're out in the open, it's really affecting it. And this is about the range where I start to wonder if I'm going to make it or not. And I pulled it off. Likely.
Cleaning up a par right there. I think Jordan's going to do the same.
Oh, hopefully, since he's basically in the same spot, you would always hope that you get that. If somebody else could, then you hope you do too. Hole 13 is a little bit more tricky. Kind of got woods to the right, woods to the left, and you're hoping you can lace it down the middle and get just a little bit to the left at the end. Maybe 150 feet down. And you got a little left there early there.
Yeah, that was the first real yank of the round. And just hit
For
me.
you.
Yeah.
And
Jordan trying to hit the same tree, but he makes it a little bit further than I did.
but both of you are unfortunately looking at trees before you get to that basket. And that felt
Pretty.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And I actually got pretty close, I think.
Yeah.
A little short, but I was
More
pretty
than
surprised. I felt pretty good. Derek here, trying to do something similar, but unfortunately an Anheuser'd out a little too far and didn't flex back in.
This is the first real scramble for me this round, so I was trying to pull out a forehand over the trees here to get around it.
Yeah, and actually, like, it was close to what you wanted.
Yeah, it wasn't stable enough to flatten out, so it just held the turn over the whole way and didn't get quite the distance I wanted to.
Right.
I don't even know if I saw this shot.
He actually flexed it. If it had been a little bit lighter, it would have went in.
That was crazy.
Because it was just past the basket, about maybe 5-10 feet.
I remember this one. I had a tiny little gap, and man, I wish I could get that one back.
It was close. And I'm hoping that maybe I can pull off a birdie here. That's a distance
Nice
that I don't
putt,
often make,
dude.
but I pulled it off there,
Yeah,
thankfully.
that was a good putt.
And by Jordan's exclamation, you can tell it was actually a good putt for me. Unfortunately, Derek there for his par, didn't quite make it. Joseph with his bogey as well.
That was the first bogey of the round, so that one was kind of a bummer on one of the shorter holes.
And unfortunately, Jordan couldn't pull that off. And I think Derek's here trying to show him how it's done from that spot. And he pulls off for the bogey. And wow. It's not often that I'm the only birdie there. And if you notice by the duck going by, it was surprised that I didn't hit that tree.
Yeah, those two, I mean, they kind of get in your head more than anything.
Right. But I almost hit him.
Yeah.
And Joseph's line there, he got really close to getting to the basket.
Yeah.
Bro.
That was one of the better drives I had on this hole. What'd he say?
He said, oh, now I got AIDS. Ooh. Barely danced around that tree. And it flexed back. He's probably got a good 70 feet. And Derek decides to just take both trees out of play and goes a little left. I think at this point, because of all the open spaces and how much more difficult the back nine has been for him, I feel like you can kind of see it in his body language that he's not as happy about this back nine as he was the front nine. Jordan, I think he was actually giving that a run, but he just didn't give it enough. And I overshot quite a bit, which is frustrating because this is, again, a putt that I don't often make. So I'm just hoping that I can save par here. And I just don't do it.
Yeah, left a little short.
Joseph with the birdie.
Yeah, I'm getting that stroke back right away, so that felt really good.
And a couple B's.
Four.
Double B and a B for to finish up that hole. Hole 15 here. Four-hander Anheuser. It's out past, you can kind of see it. It's out past probably that fourth or fifth tree. It's down that line. I think that was good if it had been more left.
Yeah, I just let go of it a little too early there and left it pretty short.
Jordan, actually, that may have been a good tree for him. I'm not really sure. It may have been about as far either way. And I'm trying to forehand with that Explorer, and I got way too low. Unfortunately. So I've still got quite a ways to get there. I'm maybe halfway to the basket. And Derek's Anheuser didn't flex back like it usually does. Giving him maybe halfway left to go. And I think he just gave that too much angle. I'm hoping maybe I can get it at least close, because I'm definitely not trying to make it, but I think I was trying to really kind of with the putter, spike hyzer it in. But I just did not give it nearly enough of what it needed to do that.
Yeah, it was a good angle, just not enough height, I think. And then I wanted to get back on that like birdie train right there and hopefully make 2 in a row, but it was just a little too far and
Oh no.
yeah, couldn't clean up the comebacker.
Yep, unfortunately. And as you can hear, it's decently windy, so it is playing an effect on what we're doing here. And I'm hoping that I can save par here. But at this point, I still need a lot of practice on my putt, so I'm not super comfortable. But I made it, barely.
Second bogey of the round.
Yep.
So this back 9 hasn't been kind of to any of us,
really.
yeah.
Hole 16, you got to kind of get around those dead trees there. Sometimes you could maybe try to go with a forehand over that puddle, because that puddle's not usually there. I guess pond at that point. It's big enough to be dang near a pond. But you want to get around all those trees, which is what we're kind of all trying to do here. And I actually thought that I had enough power to get around the trees, but unfortunately I'm actually in that last tree.
Yeah, just hyzered a little too early.
Mm-hmm. So Jordan and hyzered out into those trees, and Derek, he did the same. Neither of them could flex back enough to be a comfortable throw. And Joseph
I lost it.
does exactly what I hoped to do. And he actually
Yep.
gets around those last trees.
Yeah, pushed it up there. I think I'm within about 20 feet. 15, 20.
Yep. And Derek actually lands right next to where I'm at. Jordan's trying to get out of that brush there. And the flex back gives him a decent par putt. But as you can see, this one's actually kind of swampy.
Yeah, and you got a difficult lie here trying to figure out the best way to get around this tree. Like, if you were just like a couple feet back, it would have been so much easier. But
Yep. But I didn't know what that was going to do, and I shouldn't have done it, if I'm being honest. The first attempt, I was going to do like a forehand flick and try to get it to angle back in. I should have done that, because what I ended up doing put me way further away from the basket than I wanted. And Derek had no look. That tree was big enough that he couldn't really throw around either way, and unfortunately got stuck in the tree again and had to throw out again. And we're all just struggling on this hole, other than Joseph at this point. And Jordan.
Oh. Good thing he was in the
I
frame. I
didn't
didn't know he was throwing.
Yeah, I didn't know he was throwing there. And almost picked up the birdie.
yeah,
Almost, but couldn't quite do it.
I should have just thrown it a little bit more direct. That was just a little too floaty. Didn't really commit to it. I think I was scared to go past it.
Especially with that water I'm standing in. But you're going to have to stand in it too, as your disc is right in front of mine. Pulled out the bogey. And you got Jordan going out of turn, but it's fine, because you still pulled out your par.
Yeah.
Hole 17, straight ahead, just don't go on the road, which, with that throw, if that had hyzered any more, might have went into the road.
Yeah, I remember there being a little bit of a headwind, so I thought it was going to flip a little bit more than it did, but
Well roll, but not enough to be anything that you would really want. And you can hear that wind now. It's right to left, and unfortunately, what would normally flex back for Derek didn't as much as he wanted. So here I am trying to forehand with that Explorer again. Pretty sure this was the round that I decided to stop doing that, because it should not have went left like that. Thankfully, I released early, so it didn't go into the road. But what you don't want is it to go left when you forehand, unless you're a lefty, and I am not.
Jordan laying up really nice there. That was a good one.
Yeah, he can save par. He and I are tied right now, and I think we both know it. So we're both laying up there, setting up for par. We're kind of just chasing each other,
Yeah.
trying to make something happen, but that almost stuck in the ground, it looked like. So I catch the par, almost didn't. Jordan with the par, so we're still tied going into 18. Joseph with another par.
Yep.
So here, it's straightforward. You got to get past to those trees. There's the two there past all the others, and it's right in between those. And we're just trying to get to it. And I think you wanted that maybe to go a little more right.
Yeah, I didn't put enough on it to get it to go more straight. It kind of hyzered early on me, and
You know. And Jordan there, when he did that, he got far enough away that I thought maybe there's a chance I could best him on this hole. So I actually turned out wide, wanted to hyzer in, and did exactly what I wanted. And as you can see by my body language, I thought that could go in.
yeah,
If it had a little more distance.
that was definitely a really good shot.
So I'm feeling good. I know that the putt that Jordan has is not a gimme, and there's a chance that I could pull it out. And Derek lays up there. He's got a really good birdie attempt. Par attempt. And right there I knew if I didn't mess up. But it was just far enough away that I knew I could mess up. So I'm just hoping that maybe I can pull off a birdie here.
Yeah,
And
I'm trying to finish on a high note here as well with the birdie, and just weak armed it a little bit. Just I don't know. I was last couple putts just trying to float it in there rather than just aiming at the chains, and so I got this for a comebacker, which was a little intimidating.
Yep.
And
Yeah, the wind
sailed
picked up
it.
too.
yeah, again I don't know. I just not confident enough to just throw it straight at it. So
Which unfortunate.
Nice putt.
And I did it.
yeah.
Probably the best round of my quote-unquote career.
Oof.
That
Almost
bogey
missed
to
that
finish
one
up.
too, yeah. So that was kind of a bummer to finish on a bogey, but. Alright, final scores. 3 under for me, Thomas 1 over, Jordan 2 over, and Derek 12 over.
Sweet.
Good stuff.
Good game, boys.
Good game.
Unfortunately, that back nine was nowhere near as easy as the front nine was.
Or as exciting.
Yeah.
It was just kind of a rough one to watch. Just it was a rough back nine for all of us, I think.
I do agree.
Yeah.
But it's a good course. I actually, even as hard on myself as I was, played probably better than I usually do. Just because of all the birdies that I got. If it weren't for that, I'd have felt a lot less good about this round because of all the bogeys and double bogeys.
Yeah.
But I was able to sneak in some birdies there that, honestly, I usually don't. So,
Yeah. I think sometimes courses like this, even though they're like more wooded, sometimes seem like they're more difficult. But sometimes when you have the gap right in front of you, it's like almost easier just because that's what you're focusing on, is hitting the gap rather than like some wide open hole where it's kind of like you don't really have that reference. You're just kind of airing one out there. But sometimes like having the gap to hit just makes you focus a little harder. So I think that might have been why that front nine was better for all of us than the back nine.
yeah, even though we tried to take down a bunch of trees.
Yeah, that's true, but
Well, that's okay. But we made it through. Did subpar, a little better than subpar, I think, for us
yeah.
on this round. But well, thanks for watching. Thank you for being a part of our disc golf army. And
Yeah. it was a fun round, and get out there and play some disc golf.
Get out there and sling some of those discs. Peace.
Peace.
Hell yeah, baby.
There you
That
go.
was pretty good. Attaboy.